Today I'm making this video so you can have like a guide so you can work at home to create the template of your packaging. Over here what I will do is obviously first like let you know, because I think if I'm not mistaken some of you are not able to use the platform, so I will just start with that. And then what I will do is just I will grab an image that I have grabbed like a reference packaging, and when I will apply the measurements that I need to use to create the final template of my product. Okay, so first of all, maybe you will find at the top, like over here, something that says you need to subscribe now, or well, you don't have access to it. So what you're going to do is that you're going to go here, where your profile is. You're going to click on it, and you will click on account settings, and at the bottom right here where it says delete account, you're going to delete it. You're going to click right there. So what you're going to do is that it will like log you out. You're not going to miss any file because technically you have saved everything on your computer, so there shouldn't be any issue with you accessing those previous files. So once you click on delete account, you will find again the screen that it says login with Google. You're going to log in with Google again, and then once again you have access to the platform. Okay, I won't do it right now because well, I don't want to lose my account, but you can do it. Okay, anyway, now what is it that we're going to do? Like over here, this is what you should be looking at, the first thing, and you're going to select the size of the paper that you're going to be working with. How do you know which one to choose? Well, it all depends on the size of your packaging, right? If you have something that is relatively small based on the measurements, then that means that maybe you can use an A4, which is a letter size like the standard paper. But this one is slightly larger, like 2 times letter size. So the A3 will allow you to have more space just in case your packaging is larger. So at the moment I will just choose A3. Okay, over here this is what I will be looking at. In my case, I had already like selected an image. This is the image of the packaging that I will be developing. So we'll just have it here. I'll just turn this so it is horizontal, and as you remember, I will be locking that image so it doesn't move any longer. Okay, now basically, technically, supposedly you have this the idea of what the packaging is going to contain in terms of information, but you need to like sort out where and in which direction that information will go. But before we go in a little bit deeper into that sort of information, what we will do is define the dimensions right here. So let us imagine, I won't be taking any of your products as a reference because, well, that will be cheating. But then what I will do is just right here, let us say that I am creating a packaging for a mouse, right? And then the measurements are, this will be 12 by 8, sorry, by 7, um, by 7, and let us say 7, right? I'm just thinking about the mouse that I usually use in class, so there you go. How do I know the measurements? Well, this is like the length, well, how my hand grabs it. This will be the width, like let us say that we're looking at the wrist, and this will be the height. Yep. So let us imagine that we are going to be resting it on this, which is the base, which will be the inside right here, right? So what we're going to do is that we need this square to be 12 by 7. So I will start first with that rectangle. So we'll just create this one, and on the right side I will change those measurements, but I just check, and these measurements are in millimeters. So if you want to go back to centimeters, remember you click on the outside on the page, and then this panel will show up, and I will just click. Instead of millimeters, it will turn into centimeters. Then I will just click on my rectangle once again, and now these are in centimeters. So I will have the width is 7, and the height, which in this case is the length, will be 12. Yeah, I just click on enter, and if you notice, this is a little bit bigger. So what I will do is that I will just move this image. Actually, I will just crop it at the moment, so it's not so confusing. Okay, we'll just put it here. Right, remember to select with the black arrow, and then I can lock it. And then I have this one. I will just add the border so I don't have a filling, and that will be the base. Then if you notice, these are the sides. So what I will do is I will just copy and paste this one, and then I will just move it to the left side. How did I see those like pink lines that show up? I was just clicking and dragging it while holding shift. Why am I holding shift? Because that will allow me to at least keep the shapes aligned in the center. And then I will like duplicate it once again, and I added it on the right side. How did I duplicate it? I click on option and shift at the same time so I can move it around. Okay, I will just eliminate that one, and then I need this one, which is technically the front, and this one, which is the back. I haven't changed these measurements. Why is it? Because technically it is still the length, and the height of the mouse is still 7. So if you look up here, it says 7 is the width, which technically in this case is the height, and 12 is the length. Okay, so those ones I don't have to change. I will just copy this one, I will put it in the top, and then I need to change the measurements of this one. So what is that one? The thing is that one will be 7 by 7. We'll just click autosave. Okay, and over here it is already 7. Then I added the 7 over here, and then I just place it right next to the others. Okay, and then just like I did with the other one, I click on option and shift, and I drag it until they meet. So I have the main shapes of the base, right? But the thing is that I'm also missing this one. So what I will do in this case is that I will flip this one once again. I will just move the image so it all fits in the same piece of paper. Just move here so I can actually see it all. If it weren't to fit in the same piece of paper, we just need to find where is it that we can crop it. So we could like just crop it right here, so we can add it in another piece of paper. So at the moment I think I'm able to just carry on. So this part is the lead, so this is the same as this one. Actually, let me just like name them. This is the base, and this one is the part. Okay, so the base and the top part are the same because one goes on top of the other, right? If you remember the image, which actually I'll just copy and paste it so you can see it more clearly. Over here, I'm just cutting the image so you may see it like when it is folded, right? So this is the top, this part. Okay, so what would the sorry, this is the part, the top part. Yes, this is the top part. Okay, so that one is exactly the same size at the base, so I will just click on the base which at the moment, yeah, I selected it. I click on shift once again and I align it. Yep. I'm only missing this part, which I can define with the measurements. In this case, it is a little bit complex, but this basically is like a flap that is going to fit inside this hole, like this hole. So at the moment, it won't fit on this piece of paper. So what I will do is just leave the top part and I will just add it in another page. At the moment, I will just finish the base by creating these elements on here. So how do I do that? I will just, let us say, create a line which is 45 degrees, right? How do I know that it is 45? I click on shift. So that one will be exactly in the middle between these angles. This is 45 and this is 45 degrees. And then I will just simply like join them together. How big that line needs to be, in my case, I could just go into greater detail. Technically, it just needs to be like shorter than this one. If you see right here, it's way shorter. So I could just, like, if you like, just make it shorter. And this one, I will just change it. Okay. And then what do I do? Do I have to do it all over again? Well, technically, you already know that you can just click on both and duplicate it with option plus shift. I will place it here and then I will just use symmetry and I have just swapped it. And then I just select on both sides, option and shift, so I can drag it at the bottom until it is aligned, and then once again symmetry. And there you go, like the base is already done with the measurements. Let us imagine that I have already done the lid. I don't want this like video to be any longer. What you need to keep in mind is that this is the bottom. If we're looking at it from the front, let us imagine over here I have the photo of the mouse. I will actually just create like a line that will allow us to know whether that is an arrow. Okay, and I will just make this one. Okay, so this is the direction in which I will just save it briefly here. Example. I'm saving it in the cloud because that is the fastest thing that I can do right now, but make sure you save it on your computer. So I just added here these arrows that basically like show me what is the orientation of the lines that the information that I will be placing. So this one goes in this direction over here. I will just duplicate this one. It needs to go in the opposite direction, and the same with this one. I'm just envisioning how is it that the information is going to go, right? So let us say that I add a text, and the text says mouse for left-handed people. Okay, so in this case, what I will do is just turn it around, and I will imagine that I am reading like this. So that is why it needs to be placed in this way, okay? Once I fold it, this is the direction in which I'm reading, okay? So basically that is the main information. Just make sure that you organize your file in such a way that it is ready to be printed. Otherwise, that means like doing extra work. Okay, so hopefully you remember the other basics. I will just add another video where you can actually like manipulate this, remember about like how to change the color and all of that. Obviously, well, not obviously, but I would recommend you to eliminate the borders so it is clean in that sense, the packaging. Remember to review the design brief, the instructions, and the rubric so you have everything that needs to be included. Okay, good luck.